If I die tomorrow, I hope you hear these words. I ain't here to flip no birds or sip no serve. Hope the future generations can get this urge. Stay woke, youngin', and avenge these nerds.
Yeah, it finally happened.
I
We
saw
did it. Can we play it one more? I want to play it one more time.
You want it one more time?
One more time.
One more time. Then.
If I die tomorrow, I hope you hear these words. I ain't here to flip no birds or sip no serve. Hope the future generations can get this urge. Stay woke, youngin', and avenge these nerds.
Titus Howard's
It's so nice. Look at all our smiling faces. We look so
Nice.
happy. Oh,
nice.
I love it.
I love that.
That was a lot of-
I'm officially on now.
It's
Let's
official.
It's official
There we
now.
go. Yay!
Oh.
So yes, for those who are wondering, Val is now officially in the intro.
Let's go. Let's go.
So if there's nothing more official than that, I don't know what is. But yeah, that took a few hours of shifting through footage of what was going to be the perfect footage and then the perfect spot. I was like, that's it. This is
That was
it.
nicely done. Nicely done.
Good stuff, dude.
Cool. Thank you.
One of us.
That's right.
I'm allowed at the table now. I'm at the lunch table now.
Yes.
That's right.
So do we want to get into announcements and then jump into this because we have a nice long episode tonight.
Oh, before we jump into announcements, Val, did your items come in?
Yes. Look. I'm ready to show you
so
guys.
excited. Oh shit! That's
Look, it
I'm
is
so
glorious. It is a glorious
my
build.
God.
God!
I told Pong I'm gonna do this on his show, so I haven't
Okay,
opened
that's
him
gonna
up
be
yet.
dope.
But that's kind of what I'm gonna work on with Pong, so I gotta hit him up.
Yeah,
So guys,
it's a good build.
I am super excited. This bitch right here though, it's freaking huge.
Yep.
I was like, oh my God. I'm super hyped.
so for those that are wondering, Tone had got an Optimus Prime, the Transformer Lego version, and then we went to the green room last week, and apparently half of us used our credit cards last week.
Right. I was like, let's do
I was
it.
like, oh my God, am I gonna do it?
Val
I'm gonna
bought
do it.
Optimus Prime and R2D2, so
Oof.
you're one
You're
Batmobile
such
away.
a bad influence. No,
So
I'm not doing the Batmobile. I tell you, I'm sticking to my two that I have that I made with the metal sheets.
So for those who are wondering, so we're going to be guest stars on Pong's show. He does on a Friday night on Twitch, and Val is going to be
The
putting that
Sin
together.
Shop.
We'll let you guys know when we will be on the Sin Shop invading. Woo! So with that, let's get into some announcements. Let's get this out the way so we could get into this hot episode tonight because it's hot takes.
Yo.
Hot takes.
Oh yeah.
Hot.
Explosive take.
Oh my.
Did I miss something? I'm so lost.
We're talking boys. There's gonna be a lot of.
Oh, okay, all right.
So as far as it goes,
13 minutes in and you finish.
All right, that's enough for me today, guys. I gotta go.
All right, go.
So announcements. Here we go. So make sure you guys are checking out Law on his Twitch channel. The Twitch channel is in the links. Law is streaming fun video games. So we're gonna go pew 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 on every Tuesday, Sundays.
I apologize for being away for so long. It's been a long week of coming back from vacation, and then literally a week into it, got sick. So I've been out of it. But I'll hopefully be back on Thursday. So be on the lookout for that.
Definitely. So go follow him, subscribe, follows, give him that support on Twitch. Get him up there. Make him the number one Twitch streamer out there. Patreon.
That'd be huge.
Updated. Patreon update for me. I have the Patreon there, Bonet Studios. The Patreon is in the links to in the description. We just
You've been busy with that Patreon, sir.
You know what got launched today on that Patreon? The first character reveal for the comic, and yesterday the reveal of the title for the comic, which was revealed on the Patreon yesterday.
Let's go.
Very cool.
So all subscribers got that reveal. Every Sunday is a public post. Every Tuesday is an exclusive post and random exclusive posts throughout. Next on the list is the Medusa's Cascade. Medusa's Cascade every Saturday. Medusa's Cascade. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was thinking the other thing. Every Saturday, the Medusa's Cascade comes out. Is the D&D podcast that keeps on with the mayhem. You get to, oh man, I've been missing these last few sessions with you guys because obviously
be glad you're not in this arc. just be glad you're not. You don't have to deal with the spiders and the bullshit because like.
Oh, I'm glad Steady can have the spiders.
I'm over this arc. So
like,
I'm over
bro,
it.
we are fast approaching 100 episodes. I'm super excited. We're really like got into a new arc with the introduction of last week's episode. So that starts off this new arc, which is like in game versus like out of game. We're getting fucking dangerously close to each other.
And how many episodes has it been out already? How many?
82, if I'm not mistaken. 81 in the ballpark. We're like up there. Like it's getting to the point now where I'm like, oh shit, we're about to hit 100. Like this is fucking real.
Listen. We need 6.
I'm just gonna continue to pretend I know what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
One day Val will make a guest appearance as a character.
Happening.
It's going to be 6 seasons in a movie.
Also, be sure to check out the Medusa Cascade on TikTok, on Instagram, and on Facebook for more updates on the animatics that have been coming out, the animation, the character stills. It's been so dope. Like, oh man, it's been so dope.
Now, without further ado, as we're getting into the main event of things. So we have a great episode for you guys. So later in the hour, we're going to be talking about the boys after the nerd dance party. Later on, too, we're going to be talking about Miss Marvel. But first, we have a creator coming on to the stage who pretty much did this awesome comic called, again, The Gallowsman. The Kickstarter, his second Kickstarter got fully funded. So that's two Kickstarters fully funded. So the second issue is out there. So you want to give him a follow to get the update on when the third issue comes out of The Gallowsman. So you want to give it up for the one, the only, Brandon Ingram. Brandon, what's up?
Hey, welcome.
Hello and welcome.
I have to ask one thing. 82 episodes. Is this just one campaign?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So we actually have another 2 campaigns that wrapped within the time of like and we have a lot ongoing on the side. Like it's a whole multiverse thing.
But this is like the main campaign that started it all, and it's still going. That it started in 2020 of February, and we have just been a bunch of jokers causing chaos. But
we are literally halfway there.
But it's not about us. Your character's been creating some chaos. Like, and you've been kicking Kickstarter's ass. I mean, 2 fully funded Kickstarters, which is awesome, bro. So Super. Tell us what got you into the world of indie comics. Tell us the origin stories, the Spider-Man origin story of Brandon Ingram. Let's go.
Well, what got me into first reading indie comics was like I grew up with comics. Like I bought a shoebox full of comics at a yard sale when I was in like elementary school. And then from there, I just like comics. And then like in high school, that's when I started searching for like specific titles, specific writers, specific artists, like to read and stuff like that. And that's when I discovered like the modern day, like Image comics, like what we consider indie, but my opinion, Image and stuff like that, to me, isn't really indie nowadays. But at that time, I was reading all kinds of Image stuff. I love superhero stuff, so I stay up to date on Marvel and DC and stuff. But like Image, Boom, and all these other big publishers have that other stuff. Like if you don't care for superhero stuff, Boom. All of these, I don't mean Boom the company, but Boom as in all these other publishers you can go to and find something. There's a comic for literally everyone. So I got into stuff like that. I got into reading like Jeff Lemire, like he's one of my favorite writers. And it just developed from there. And I wrote some in high school, like in retrospect, looking back on it. Yes, I did like writing, but at the time I didn't think anything of it. I just had like English classes and stuff. And it's like, oh, I just got to do the stupid paper. I got to do the stupid narrative essay or whatever it is. That's how I felt at the time. But after high school, I got more serious into writing. What I mean by that is like I started doing it as a hobby, and it wasn't just like once, like 1 hour a week type hobby. It was like every day after I get back from college classes, I was just up into either writing or doing research on screenplays and stuff, because that's initially what I was thinking. Like I wanted to have a hobby of like writing screenplays and writing shorts and stuff like that, and started writing horror shorts and eventually a couple horror long shorts. I wouldn't even consider them features. They were like 50 to 60 pages. So time wise, that's 50 to 60-minute movie. And then my first, hey George, or yeah,
Hey,
what's up,
George.
George? Just wanted to see you here. What's up, man?
It's awesome.
But yeah, like in 2017, like I was going through stuff in my life. Like I was in the nursing program originally. Like I was almost done with the nursing program, like doing clinicals and all that. So I had a couple more semesters to graduate and do that. But for like a year, I just had this constant thought and feeling of like, I'm in this for like the wrong reasons. Like I didn't have a passion for nursing at all. Like the main reason I went into it was job security. Nurses are always needed,
Yeah.
always needed. Anywhere you go, you can get a job just like that, just about. That and then the pay. It's not amazing pay, but it's not bad pay. So fairly consistent pay. Those were the reasons I went into it. I didn't have a real passion for it though. So as I was going through clinicals and stuff, I was like, I don't have the same like passion or the same fervor as like all my fellow like classmates. Like they like I thought I was crazy or something. I was like, these people love it. And not dissing or bashing nurses. Like I commend nurses. Like the work they do,
Yeah.
the hours they have to put in. Honestly, I don't think they get paid enough. The crap they have to deal with, not just literal crap, but like metaphorical. But yeah, I withdrew from the nursing program at a time where I didn't know what I was going to do. Like, am I going to keep doing college? Am I going to transfer, change majors? I didn't know. And I needed something at that time to keep me occupied, to keep me going in this period where I'm like, I feel like a quitter. At that point, I felt like a quitter. And I was like, I need to prove something to myself. Also, I need to
Yeah.
prove something to myself. So at that point, I was like, okay, I'm into writing. At this point, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to write this thing and then sell it. It was more just me. I was like, I'm into writing. I haven't written a feature-length script yet. I'm going to challenge myself. Because I have this thing in my head of like, I feel like a quitter. I'm going to write a feature-length script. I'm going to give myself a deadline on that feature-length script. I think I wrote the script in 1, maybe 2 months, no more than 2 months. And basically every day, at least once, I would go to McDonald's. I don't know why I couldn't just do it from my house, though.
Listen, everybody has a place. Don't worry.
I had some nuggets.
We all got the spot.
I went to McDonald's to use their Wi-Fi as well as I guess People Watch or something. I don't know, but I was able to punch out that script within those 2 months, and that script was the first script for the Gallowsman. So that was the first feature script I'd ever written, and it was just such an amazing feeling because I had that feeling of like, gosh, I'm a quitter because of what I had done from withdrawing from this program. I'm now in, and now my day job is something I absolutely love, and doing this writing and being able to write the Gallowsman at that time just helped me somewhat rough and dark area of my life.
Okay.
I mean, it's good that you're able to, find that passion that you're looking for. Because, I think we can all kind of emphasize with the whole idea of kind of jumping into something because it's something to do, whether it's a job or a paycheck, and trying to find what is it that you're really passionate about, and you got that opportunity, with the Gallowsman and everything. So I'm really happy for you that you're able to find that. And you just, you see it right there, going to McDonald's and having your routine and having your spot and just working it all out. So that's awesome. I commend you that, a lot of folks aren't able to find that thing that they're passionate about. So the fact that you know it and you had that courage to take that leap, to step away from something that was steady and to jump into something else,
Right.
without knowing what's going to happen, dude, that's awesome, man.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, that's something I don't think I'd ever be able to do.
It was a scary point, but I'm so glad I did it. Not only that I could be able to write the Gallowsman, but because I was able to find like my actual like job passion that I like, because I'm a youth minister and I love youth ministry. And basically from late 2017 to now, that's just what I've been doing, and writing, not just the Gallowsman, just writing in general, other comics, other screenplays, stuff like that, has been that great hobby to the side of just like that breather, basically.
Yeah,
Thank you, George.
George is also guys. Make sure you're catching up with George too on Catch the Craze, and he just dropped Wonder Duck. But no, I like that we're hearing this because you don't hear that much on people's side with their story and everything, how they started. Because like you do get a lot of creators that are like, oh, I'm awesome, and it's just it shows your passion with like, you know what, I really want to fish it, and it's not about being a quitter. It's just that you get that bug where it's like, you know, you want to go out, and I think that's the story that more and more people who think that it's just them, like, no, it's a common theme in indie creators. We get this passion where it's like, no, I don't want to be feeling this great, I gotta really write the story. And so when you came up with the Gallowsman, how did you come up with the concept for the character? And when you teamed up, go ahead, Val. I'm sorry, I stole your question.
You got it already.
Man.
Got it already.
Well, we're gonna have Val ask it. Go right ahead.
No. I was gonna ask, as far as your inspiration behind the character, where did you pull from? What inspirations you had? I mean, we all read comic books. I mean, it's something that I grew up with as well. I was a huge Marvel fanatic, and I was just curious as to what drove the inspiration and where you see your character going.
Yeah, there's a few things. Like one big thing is classic Golden Age comics and Golden Age heroes. You hear a name like the Gallowsman, and it can set you back a little bit. It's like, whoa, it's a bit much. But you go back to those old Golden Age comics, there are characters with like there are characters who are killing people like the wildest ways. I'm not for the comics code, but I will say when they first initially brought it out, I understand where they were coming from, because at that time it was the Wild West when it came to comics. Little 5-year-old Jimmy could be reading the story about people getting their guts pumped full of lead, and it's graphic and it's visceral.
Yeah.
So ultimately, though, that should be a parent. A parent should be doing that, but not
that's
all
a discussion
parents
for
are...
another day.
Exactly. Parenting, that's another discussion. But so I saw where they're coming from. At the end, though, they were extremely restrictive. It was ultimately horrible what it turned out to be. But at the start, I get what they were for. So those Golden Age characters that were just doing all this wild stuff, to the point where part of the inspiration for the Gallowsman is a Golden Age character. He had like a 6-issue little mini series back in like the 1940s called Hangman. And like when I saw that, I was like, there was a character named Hangman? Like, that is wild. Like to think that was a thing.
Oh man, a lot of those heroes. Yeah.
Well, here's where a lot of the because the Gallowsman, when you read it, there's parody, there's satire, and here's where some of that comes from. Like, you go back to those old classic heroes, and it makes me think like Hangman. What if there were a little 5-year-old that was like at that time you have Superman and all that stuff, and you have some kids that are like, I want to be like Superman one day. I love Superman. And then there's a little 5-year-old that's like, Hangman, I want to be like Hangman. It's like, whoa, maybe not in the Gallowsman, in this universe, you kind of see that. They're like Town City, that's the city within the Gallowsman. there's like the city itself is just like, the Gallowsman and Newsboy, everything they do. Thank you, Gallowsman and Newsboy. They're acting like that to the point where in universe there's likely like 5 or 6-year-old kids that like today, you think about today, where it's like a kid that looks at Spider-Man, it's like, oh my gosh, like I want to be just like Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man. And Gallowsman, there's some kids that are like, oh my gosh, Gallowsman or Newsboy, I want to be just like them. It's like, whoa, like this world, Gallowsman is a bit crazy. Everyone is like a bit crazy when it comes to this violence and stuff. It's basically like everyone is desensitized to it.
Yeah.
Within the world itself of the Gallowsman, to where like someone could get killed by the Gallowsman or the Newsboy or whatever, and like everyone's like triumphant victory by those guys, even if it's like a petty thug, like he stole like $1 from someone. It's like get those criminals off the street.
Yeah, I kind of like the. Go ahead, Tom. I kind of like that. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tom.
Just go.
Let's go ahead.
He said, "Go ahead, Tone," and then
All right. I said, "Go ahead, Tone." And so you know, what the hell? Man? No. So to your point about the desensitization of it, you know, the violence and even the name Gallowsman and all that, you know, it pales in comparison when you're killing Nazis. Right. So like, So it's kind of like those old school comics where you had all the superheroes fighting Nazis and kicking Nazis' ass. And then you can do whatever you want when you're fighting fucking Nazis.
Because that's the thing with someone like the Gallowsman. Had it been just regular criminals, like petty criminals or whatever, like there's that bit where it's like, this is a bit weird. But what's the uniform unison villain for everyone? Nazis. Nazis are the uniform villain. So with someone like the Gallowsman, it fits a little bit better. Him battling these Nazis, it evens out his craziness, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the fact that he's also a mortician and he's eating snacks. Yeah. He's having a full blown meal, pulling intestines out with them ball. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
That's like a tiny little joke. Yeah. Like it's exaggerated, but at that time, like. Sanitization, it wasn't like that level, but sanitization at that time wasn't big. So I just thought it'd be funny if him and the funeral director, they're just like eating over this dead body. It's like, this is just everyday stuff.
Yeah, and it wasn't even like a regular meal. It was like roast beef and French fries or something. Just
roast
something
beef
really
and French fries. Yeah,
really hearty and heavy.
Gross. That is gross.
But no, let's touch up on here because again, you do touch up on that golden age, and I like that. It is touched up on that in this comic because again, you even like I had to pull this up. I mean, this is not Gallowsman, but this is golden age Batman, whereas Batman at one point had a gun, and you're right, like universal villain that people would not say anything about would be Nazis. They wouldn't care, but then it was like, oh, if it's just a regular criminal, then it's like, okay, now you're in the terms of vigilantism. So you get a lot of that with Gallowsman, and I love that you do touch up on that, and you definitely really have that golden age feel. And I love that again with the sound effects. I really was getting like that golden age, like boom, pow. It's like, oh, this is
I did want to mention like that's one aspect of the inspiration. The other aspect of the inspiration is Silver Age. Like Silver Age, as well as Silver Age with like the fun and goofiness of Silver Age, because it's like we're seeing into comics code. Let's just have fun, silly stories where like every story is a one-off. Basically, we got Superman sneezing and the planet goes way over there because of the sneeze, stuff like that. Silly, fun stories. They're fun, and so that leads into Batman '66, the Adam West Batman show, and the fun, campy goofiness of that. And the Gallowsman takes inspiration from both Silver Age and the Adam West Batman show. Because anytime I'm trying to tell someone like a tonal pitch of the Gallowsman, it's the 1960s Adam West Batman show, the fun campiness of that show mixed with like Quentin Tarantino violence. Like that's the Gallowsman basically.
That's a good vibe.
I was just gonna ask, are we gonna get the Gallows Hussy?
The what?
The Gallows Hussy, like the Bat-Hussy dance.
Oh, well, I'll say this.
Sebastian, we're kicking you out. We're kicking you out.
In issue 2,
he gets one
3,
every
not that. In issue 2 and 3, there are those bombs. The bombs. He doesn't hold it over his head, but as like a little like hint at, there's like a box of like those bombs with a little wick on the.
Yo, what's going on, Rob?
I like it. But go ahead, Lo. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
No, I was saying.
Oh, really good. Is there Gallowsman shark spray?
You know,
Maybe in the
I,
next mini. He does have gadgets. He does have
Okay.
gadgets.
All right, all
I
right.
love it. I love it.
I'd be down for it. So with a concept like this, how do you approach your artist? Because you're like writing this whole thing, and now you're like, by the way, I'm gonna need someone to draw this entire thing and do the art for it. How do you approach your
So-
artist? How did you connect with Helen?
So luckily, I was able to like tiptoe into this one a little bit, and I'll get into that. Like I found her through DeviantArt. Like it's when I found my first artist that I've worked with was through DeviantArt. Then later I found out, oh, there's Facebook groups, and you can go on Instagram to find artists, and it takes like 90% less time because there's literal groups for artists looking for writers and vice versa. Um, but I found her through DeviantArt, contacted her. I was working on some horror anthology stuff that will eventually see the light of day. Likely by the end of this year, I'll have a Kickstarter for that sort of stuff. But one of the stories was it was a horror story, but it was done in like Dr. Seuss-esque art style. And I was going through DeviantArt, found Helen's art, and she had some stuff that resembled that a little bit. Contacted her, got some concept stuff, eventually hired her to do that 15-page story. Then after that, got her to do a one-page horror story that's called Alternate Reality. Is trees and humans are swapped basically. And it's only like 5 panels. There's like human farms, and there's like trees like chopping down humans, and there's like protests at like a Capitol building, and it's like the trees holding these protest signs saying like stop killing the humans and stuff like that. It's a little like hypocritical because their like post is made of like a femur, stuff like that. But so she witnessed my insane, crazy mind through those couple of stories. But this one was a little bit more. I was like, I asked her first, like, hey, would you want to work on a bigger series? She said yes. And then I just like started tiptoeing with questions, one question after the next, seeing if she was okay. And then eventually I told her the concept that I've basically talked about here. And then I was like, okay, would you like to see like first 10, 20 pages? She's like, okay. I sent it. She was like, yeah, let's do it. I'd work on it. I'm like, okay, would you like to see the whole script? She looked at it. She was like, yeah, sounds good. I was like, okay. and I was like, could you do some concept art? She did some concept art. I was like, can I please hire you? Like, this looks exactly what I'm looking for. And yeah, since early 2020, she's been working on this book.
Nice.
That's awesome.
So, Brendan, what we're going to do is we're going to give you now the plug where you're now going to plug away Gallowsman to the crowd out there. Go right ahead. Plug away, brother.
Okay, thank you. So, the Gallowsman, the series I'm working on, the Kickstarter for issues 1 and 2 just ended about 12 days ago. We'll have another Kickstarter for issue 3, likely at the beginning of 2023. But what this series is about, it's about the Gallowsman, hence the title. It's set in the 1940s in a satirically and over-top world of superheroes. And within that world, you have the Gallowsman. I've actually got some stickers if I can find them. You got like the Gallowsman, and he also has a team. Part of that team is Newsboy, who's basically his Robin equivalent, and classic Robin, where it's like, I don't think he's puberty yet, or I'm not sure if he's at puberty yet, where he's like 10 to 13, like the young boy. He's not in high school. So that team has to stop this Nazi threat that has infiltrated their city, not only to save the city, but to avenge the Gallowsman's former mentor, who was killed by this Nazi threat. And like I mentioned before, the best way to put this tonally is take the 1960s Batman, the Adam West show, the fun campiness of that, because this book ultimately is fun. It's escapism. There's so much crap going on. Like every single day. There's constant bad news in the actual news. It's a little breather. It's just fun. If you want to read into it, the desensitization of violence within our society and see that, sure, you can do that. Or if you just want a fun read, it's a fun, goofy, funny read. There might be some parts where you're like, why the heck did I laugh at that? But ultimately, just a fun book. Oh yeah, I don't even finish my tonal thing. 1960s Batman show mixed in with Quentin Tarantino movie violence, and you get the Gallowsman. There's all kinds of scenes that show this goofiness. In issue 2, there's a scene where Gallowsman uses his noose reel to try to kill a henchman. He's in a shipping yard, he's trying to kill this henchman. The noose reel jams. He kills the henchman, but it jams. And then some other henchmen are rounding the corner. He's like, oh crap. And he's like, oh, I gotta think fast. He climbs on the shipping container. And then as the guards come up to the henchman, he's Gallowsman on top of the shipping container is marionetting this guy, this dead henchman. He's marionetting him basically. And they're, oh, did you see that game last night? And the dead body's just like that. It's silly, stupid, fun. That's the best way I can put it.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing the Gallowsman with us. Again, guys, check out the links. Brandon's links is in the description. Give him a like, follow. Give him a like, follow to stay tuned for the next project, for the next Kickstarter for issue 3. Issue 1s and 2 have been fully funded. So again, congratulations. Now we are on our next topic.
Wait a second.
Really
They want to know.
Rick wants to know.
Ooh, what is the poster behind Rick? Rick has a question.
That's the cover for Dismay Avenue #1. It seems so narcissistic. I've been wanting to take it down, but the only like backdrop thing I have for like YouTube shows, so I'm like, I'll leave it up for YouTube shows, I guess. Yeah, because every time I walk in, I'm like, am I that person? I have a poster of my own thing.
I mean, you made it.
You believe in it. That's it, man.
Yeah,
That's pretty dope.
yeah,
I
but
mean,
it's just I don't know.
I mean, people have pictures of themselves up in their homes. It's okay.
Like right
At
on
least
the
something
ceiling,
you
once
created.
they wake up, they see themselves.
Right.
I mean, listen, people have mirrors on the top of their bed so they can see themselves.
Wow. Yeah.
Not wrong. He's not wrong.
Yeah. But it's the
That's for a
the
different
cover.
reason.
Yeah, I'm about to say it's
You gotta
not
be
just
real
so they can look at
narcissistic.
themselves.
To want to watch.
Listen, mirrors are not bad. Moving on.
Yeah, but this is the cover of issue 1 of Dismay Avenue. It's my horror anthology series that I'm coming out with. It's like the classic Twilight Zone with some modern horror elements, such as like some psychological horror and stuff like that, and some of it true. Like in this one specifically, the first third is literally a date I had, and weird stuff started happening. But then after the first third, it's like, well, what if it actually was some weird thing going on beyond that? This is meant to look like a movie poster because the two main characters, Ben and Mia, they go on a date at a movie theater that is basically no one is there, and weird stuff is happening at this theater. Like it gets really weird. The art is really good in it, but that's what that is. The cover for Dismay Avenue 1. Dismay Avenue 1 and 2, that comic will come out probably by the end of the year.
Can't wait for it.
Nice.
Yes, and that is George blaming Tone for mirrors. Now, George would never look at mirrors the same way again. So let's get on to the next topic.
I mean, he's sounding like a person with experience. I don't know what's going on.
I feel like we all learned something today. Don't know what, but we learned something.
Let's go down to Jersey City.
Jersey City.
Are we switching to Miss Marvel now? Is that what we're doing now?
Miss Marvel. Let's do it.
Yeah, Miss Marvel, then Break, then the boys.
So perfect way to segue into Miss Marvel. Val, tell us how you feel. How did you feel about Miss Marvel?
I know I'm gonna have the unpopular opinion here. I was upset at a lot of things in this show. I think it was done well for what it was. I will say that. But I am absolutely pissed they changed her origin. Absolutely pissed they took away the fact that she gets a hit with Terrigen Mist. Even if they deviated a little bit and did the video game version where she was in that explosion and got the powers, whatever they could have done, I don't like that they changed her power set. Everything else was okay about the show. It was just okay. It's now officially my worst Marvel show.
Wow.
Wow.
Now
I
coming
know
in with
I'm not
the
gonna have
hot,
the popular opinion
hot,
there,
hot.
but
I
I
now
read
gotta
Miss
ask.
Marvel. Go ahead.
I now gotta ask, what is your favorite Marvel show?
WandaVision is definitely up there for me.
Okay.
Coming
Yeah.
from the person who watched.
I was about to say, if you said Moon Knight, and I'd be like, okay, I don't know.
No, Moon Knight. I think I graded it like 4th or 5th. When we had the grade
Something like
change.
that.
Moon Knight took too long, and we know it's getting a second season, which makes it better.
It
Yeah.
should have just been a movie. That's what I said. Like within episode 3, I was like, it would have benefited from being a movie.
Rick, you know you're killing me. You're killing me.
I gotta. Okay.
Okay.
So question to this, right? Because we all know aside from some of the other issues that I don't know other issues that you can have with, not you, Val, just in general, right? Generalizing other issues you can have with it, because I think it was a very good first episode and introduction to Kamala Khan, and really getting us into her Pakistani culture, which I think is chef's kiss, amazing.
I loved it. That part, I agree.
But the hurdle we're all going to have to go over is this Inhumans thing. So do you feel they should have waited to do Miss Marvel until we redid the Inhumans, and then how would we do it?
I don't see. The thing is, you made Inhumans canon when you decided to put Black Bolt in Dark Strange. Period. Yeah. You made Inhumans canon. You can't just undo that. Period. I don't think they should have deviated from the fact that she is an Inhuman. We got a horrible show. Move on. Okay, fine. They can build from that and make it better. Like, I don't understand why they had to take away the fact that she is an Inhuman. That is my biggest gripe about the show. Outside of that, yes, I agree with the whole culture.
Also,
I agree with how it was done.
A lot of her identity is like based on her power. Her power is shapeshifting. So it's like it takes away some of the like key moments of her story by not giving her that ability and trying to tie her more closely to the Marvels, where like it wasn't so much that her powers are closely to, you know, Carol or Monica. It's literally her own thing, but she aspires to be like, you know, Captain Marvel. You know, that's her hero. That's her favorite superhero. That
in the comic books, when she gets exposed to, the first thing she changes into is Carol. She transforms into Carol. She saves a few people. She realizes she has this power. Like, you took away a big core part of who this version of Miss Marvel is, and I'm going to watch it. I'm going to take it for what it is, but I'm not happy about that.
Especially given the fact that, like, as a teenage Pakistani kid living in Jersey, like, listen, I have a hard enough time being a Puerto Rican black kid from the Bronx. Like, I guarantee that, like, the identity thing of just like being able to change into your favorite superhero means a lot. Like, oh shit, I don't have to be who I am, who I'm, you know, I'm not always proud of, or I always feel like I'm getting bullied of. I can be Miss Marvel. I can be Captain Marvel, whatever the case is. You know what I mean? That part, it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth, and I will agree with Val on that. The rest of the show, I love. Like, I love the family dynamic. I love the animation styles. I love like the fun and creative liberties that they've taken. Like, absolutely fun, great way to introduce the character. They showed that where they kept a lot of her values and a lot of her, you know, core things, blew it out the water. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, but, I think
you know, you take away a lot from taking away her powers, I think.
Rick hit a point though, because I think that was the thing they ran in with Miss Marvel, is that they were trying to figure out, because they're bringing in the FF, so they didn't want to have a similar power set. But I get it.
Ultimately, it's a budget thing. Yeah, it's a budget.
Brandon.
That's ultimately what it is.
Give us your thoughts on the show, Brandon. Come on, jump in there.
So I have agreeances and disagreeances. I'll first say what I thought. I really liked this first episode. I thought it was like a pretty good start to a show. Not a ton of action. It didn't need it. I don't think it needed it. I thought it was paced well and stuff. I read the original G. Willow Wilson run, and loved it. It's one of my favorite like Marvel runs or Marvel comics I've read in the past decade. That and Matt Fraction's Hawkeye and anything Cosmic Ghost Rider. I love Cosmic Ghost Rider. But with that original Miss Marvel book, this show hits on it so well. Like I feel like you'll like the show even if you didn't read the book. But if you read the book, I feel like you'll like it a little bit more because Kamala Khan, I forgot the actress's name, but she is just Kamala Khan. Like that's Kamala Khan from the comics. Her friends, Bruno and is it Nia or Nina? They're the exact same characters from the comics. Not saying you have to do this with every show, but it was just nice to see because the comic was so good. You don't have to go too far from that formula. The family dynamic was great. Felt just like in the comic. There's moments in the comic where they're having to sit down dinner scenes and the family dynamic, how they're talking and stuff, feels exactly like the family from the comic. It was great. I mean, even the small stuff like I like the artistic side of it, of like the daydreams and stuff, like seeing the animation and stuff within her daydreams. I thought that was really cool. Other than it just being some Disney Channel show where a character daydreams and you just have a little bubble, and their daydream is just we shot the scene and then we added a cloudy filter around it. That's how most shows do daydream. But this was so cool having animation in the daydream and stuff.
Yeah.
And planning
I think
out.
that was nice.
It gave me a lot of Spider-Verse feel.
Yeah.
That I did like a lot. The way they made it was good, and I'm agreeing with you guys, but I'm still pissed off about the power set.
We got a whole bunch of comments in here, so let's see.
First.
No, go back.
Do it for George.
No, I'll do a spoiler one for boys. Listen, listen because now is the thing that George wants. It needs to be worth it, and for Miss Marvel, spoiler one really wasn't that needed. It's just we're talking about the first episode, no major drops.
Right.
Kind of rolling through here, seeing what Rick had mentioned earlier on. Yeah, man, no, it's definitely allowed. I think I'm all about having difference of opinions. We knew from the jump after the first episode came. Val hit us up in Discord. I don't like it, and
it's not that I don't like the show. I am pissed that they took away that she's an Inhuman.
I think it's a big conversation piece about this because it's really you have to figure out what is Marvel trying to do. Are they really just distancing themselves from Inhumans? Are they not going to do the Inhumans and wait for the mutants? There's so many questions to ask. But at the end of the day, Kevin Feige and the rest were like, but we want Miss Marvel because of how good of a character she is and how good that comic book run was.
Yes, she grew very quickly. A lot of people love her. And I just hope the fans... myself, I was one who loved her. I love Kamala Khan, and I loved playing the video game, the Avengers video game. If you haven't played it, it's so worth it. But with that said, it was like, why did you do this? I don't like large changes when it comes to their power set, and that bothers me. So, not that they did a bad job about the show. I love the show. I just don't love it as much as I love the other ones because they took away something that I felt was important to this character.
That's the only qualm I have with the show is not really that she isn't an Inhuman, because I feel like organically you could have easily done something where she's not an Inhuman. But my problem is the power set. Yeah, I'm still iffy on them changing the power set because when you watch the show, the humor is a little silly humor and stuff. And I feel like this isn't the only reason, but I'm just saying that body manipulation power would play so much better into the silly humor that they're going for.
Right.
You can do stuff with that body manipulation.
Exactly. And then she's not even able to do that. She does that in the comic books, though. And you see certain things that she was able to do that added to her personality that they're going to be limited to.
I think what happened with Miss Marvel, and this is just my opinion with the show, because I know that one of the big things, that a lot of people didn't like is her original power set didn't make it her origin story. And I think that the character was just a victim in the certain stats that at one point when Marvel was divided as Marvel Studios and Marvel TV was under Ike Palmardi. Ike Palmardi at his time too was also the head of Marvel, which at the time they were trying to push the Inhumans to kind of take over the X-Men because they didn't have the rights for the X-Men, and for a while they weren't creating no New Mutants because Fox had owned the rights. So the character itself has just been one of those characters stuck in limbo, because this, when she was pushed as a human, it was more of them trying to push in humans as the next X-Men. And
I get that.
And the show kind of felt like, I agree. I totally agree with the fact that there's probably going to be some moments that are lost because they didn't bring her power set. And a lot of it has to do with the internal struggle, where now Kevin Feige is pretty much in control of everything now. But I even mentioned I don't think and I know that we had Black Bolt introduced, but we haven't had official Black Bolts in the main MCU yet.
Right.
We've had an alternate version, and I think that when they bring the Inhumans in, it's going to be after X-Men, and especially with now that they're more focused on the cosmic beings, they were trying to tie her in. And again, I agree. I totally agree with everything that's said about, the character's origin story. Like, I don't agree with the bracelet. That's just really weird.
The bangle, I think, is actually tied into something with the 10 rings, honestly. I think that it's something related to that. There's going to be a few things that we're going to see similar that will come about and are probably just as old as the 10 rings, that all share some form of power that comes from somewhere. And I think that's where they're leading towards. We're going to see maybe another bangle. Maybe she has to get 2. I think we're going to see another character that may get something similar, that has a similar, looks similar to like the 10 rings that we saw in Shang-Chi. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if that becomes related somehow.
Yeah,
that's what I thought.
That's immediately too. Like when I saw it, I thought that, but I also, again, it feels cheap to take away the power set to not be close to Mr. Fantastic, because we're gonna do Mr. Fantastic, cheap excuse. Or if we're trying to make it more closely related to Captain Marvel and the Marvels, you don't need to do that because that's not her story to begin with. So either way, But I do believe that they're going to bring in that other bangle, and they're going to try to tie it to Shang-Chi and the 10 rings, which I'm interested to see, because like they left us on a really big, like, what the hell is happening with these rings and what beacon did they send out? We don't know if it was the Eternals. We don't know if it was like anybody else. So we shall see.
It's definitely somewhat
Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, in
is
Doctor
what
Strange.
is what we're talking about, Rick, when we talk about Black Bolt.
It was Dr. Strange's mom that introduced us to him.
I think that when she gets the bangle on and she flips back in, like the people you see in the shadows probably are someone generational, people in her family that she actually somehow connected with, and it will lead her to another bangle. I think could be. I'm guessing. I didn't write the show, but that would be nice. With that said, I want to know the story with the grandmother and what is the mother hiding from her.
Yeah,
kind of reminds me of Red. And did you guys saw the Disney movie Red?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
So where the family is hiding like this traditional thing that they turn and whatever, and I think that's gonna lead to that, and the mother's hiding something.
Don't worry, Rick. It's not a major spoiler now. Don't worry, Rick.
I think tying it back to some sort of family heirloom or something. I think to everyone's points, it'll be interesting. But I don't know. I guess maybe me personally, I'm not tied to the whole Inhumans thing. Again, I didn't read the comic run. Like, I know about it. I know how popular it was, but I'm not going to bullshit and say I read it. I did not read it.
I did.
I was looking forward just to seeing a really good character. And when we talk about power set, are we talking about her manipulation of her size, the stretching, and all the other stuff? It seems like if we're just talking about that, so like the Mr. Fantastic portion,
but Mr. Fantastic doesn't change his. He doesn't shapeshift.
No,
he's able to stretch and
she can
actually shapeshift into someone completely different.
Okay,
right.
She literally transformed into Captain Marvel in her when her powers came out.
Go, Brandon.
She's like a mix of Mr. Fantastic, Ant-Man, Mystique. It's a bunch of different things she can do.
Well, let me ask you guys this. I mean, we only got a taste of her powers in this first episode. We still have 5 more episodes coming out. Do you think that this is the only power set that we've seen that they're going to give the character? Do you think that there's going to be a little bit more? Because, I mean, it's only been 1 episode, and so far they captured Jersey City pretty well. Do not leave your bike around. It is not going to be there.
Definitely not going to be there. I think for sure we're gonna, like, to Val's point, I for sure think that they're gonna give us like another power or another bangle or something to that effect, because I think like just this one bangle feels a little like there's got to be more. And also like having all those the ancestors appear, like there's a lot more to what we're getting than what we got.
Yeah, I mean, I hope so, because I need it to make up for the fact that I don't have an Inhuman show.
I'm gonna bring up this comment from
In the
Rick right
show.
here. I think that all it connects to Galactus being a major villain for the Fantastic Four coming, and the Ten Rings being a beacon. Ooh, that's something that if it happens, you're heard it here first.
I don't know if we're getting
Secret
Galactus
Wars,
that
man. We're doing, I think, the Secret Wars and even the Beyonders or something. I think that's what we're leaning towards.
I think because how
I don't think
poorly
we're Galactus.
Galactus
I don't
was
think
done
we're
is
getting
before,
him for a while.
I don't think we're going to get him that soon. I honestly don't think that they will bring him in that soon. I don't know.
Honestly, I don't want him for a while.
I
Go ahead,
don't
Brandon.
either.
I think the culmination will be in Deadpool 3. It's just going to be Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. And then he's going to kill the ride of the movie and stuff. And that's the end of the MCU.
Let's hope.
Secret Wars.
That's not something I want to get behind, but it would be really funny. And did you guys read that comic series with Deadpool kills everybody? Okay. All right. It is so good. It was very good.
Sorry. I was waving my finger at what Indie Comic Cat said.
Oh.
Not to you, Val. I'm sorry. I know that it looks exactly like I was waving my
Perfect
finger.
Galactus gas cloud. No, not ever.
Yeah, I mean, I've read Punisher kills the Marvel Universe, and Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe is pretty funny. That would be an interesting like side piece one shot movie. Just like the way he killed everybody. It's I recommend for everyone to read. But no, I would love that is a pretty interesting theory. Is that but again, with everything that Marvel's focusing, I mean, we saw in the Thor Love and Thunder that there are statues of some of the galactic beings, like the Tribunal. You pointed that out, Val, right? At the Tribunal and everybody.
Strange.
Was it Doctor Strange?
Doctor Strange, you see the Living Tribunal. When he's crashing through the universes, you see the face of the Living Tribunal in the background in one of the universes. Which I freaked out. I was like screaming like a little schoolgirl in the theater. It was like, oh my god, like a cornball. But anyway, I digress.
Oh man, so was Miss Marvel? It's out now. I think they did a really great origin story in terms of introducing. The actress is dead on Marvel fan. The actor, she is a big Marvel fan.
Same kind of casting like a Tom Holland. Of you can see like the joy and like the genuine like I love this character.
I love her as Kamala Khan. She definitely is very. That was the perfect casting. I think that's one thing Marvel does very well is their casting.
So I want to ask you guys this: is that a lot of characters that we see now introduced into the MCU, a lot of their characters that they're playing have been in the MCU have been fans of Marvel characters. Like Spider-Man was a fan of Iron Man, Kate Bishop the fan of Hawkeye. You have now Miss Marvel the fan of Captain Marvel. So what's going to happen when they all three team up with Yelena?
Young Avengers.
So
we're getting a Young Avengers.
Well, that's it.
Yelena's gonna be
a Thunderbolt.
I think she's going Thunderbolts, absolutely, and then gonna walk away like I'm not down with this shit.
It was a whole meme that they had that was like Yelena, like what the fuck?
These nerds.
So they're like superhero landing girls.
or in her, no offense to Florence too, not great Russian accent. These nerds.
Yeah. I could see her saying it.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, but yeah, that's big news for the MCU is the Thunderbolts. I mean, Abomination is going to be one of the characters. Ghost is in play. We're going to get basically
every non-dead bad guy.
Yeah.
I also really think that they're going to bring back in Frank Castle Punisher. If they're doing Thunderbolts. And we still have Matt Murdock,
I would not be surprised if they do that.
Not be surprised if they show him in handcuffs or working with Ross.
What's this guy's name who played Punisher?
I don't know.
John Berthino.
Yes, thank you.
But he's also said though, like he won't come back unless they're gonna do Punisher legit.
Yeah.
He's like, he's like, you know. So I think it depends on how. I think it depends on how they do Deadpool 3.
Deadpool, right?
And
that's the thing.
if Deadpool 3 is well with the R rating and being helmed by Disney, then I think they can probably tippy toe into doing Punisher.
Yeah. I mean, they. I think when they do that, it's going to work. If as long as they do it right, it's going to work. I don't want Disney to be afraid of that.
Daredevil run that they're redoing or giving us the season 4 that we love and deserve. They're going to test the waters with this because, granted, they put out all the Netflix run on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure they're like, okay, that's what that we gave you guys the warning, but they're not gonna immediately go full ham and just full tilt run into it. You know what I mean?
I don't see why not.
I absolutely don't see why not either. But when they do Daredevil, they're gonna show. I want to see Bullseye. I want to see I want to see the whole 9. I want to see Kingpin, a full-on Kingpin. If we get that, then we're gonna get the Deadpool that we want because Ryan Reynolds refuses to do it otherwise, and then we're gonna get Punisher that we want.
I think they've mentioned that that there's just good talks with Deadpool right now, and that it would probably get a R rating.
Ryan's had some unfortunate. He's been pissed off a few times, but they don't want to lose him.
I think they've just been back and forth, and Reynolds has been working with them a lot of stuff. So it's just what it is, and I'm gonna say it right now. It's because Disney. There is an image that people believe that Disney is supposed to uphold to be the family company, but now they're a multimedia company, and they have been testing the waters with rated R content. Like if you go overseas or use a VPN, Disney has a rated R service within Disney Plus outside of the US, which is called Star. Whereas in in the US, because they own Hulu has that content. That's why they released Predator Prey.
I don't know why they didn't just give us all the Netflix Marvel stuff.
I think they're testing. I think they're testing the waters right now, and that's going to judge what type of content. Because again, with the parental controls and that's all in multimedia. I don't like to talk about it right now. I'm going to cut it off because I talk about that at my job all day. The people who are cutting their cable, trying to get their cable. Yes, I work in cable, everybody. So I'm the one who's talking about your shit. So I can see your accounts. Anyway, it's definitely what they're testing the water, because a lot of people have this whole thing where it's like, well, my kids watch Disney. It's a multimedia company. They're going to do what's right for the app, and again, parental controls. Parental controls. Again, like parental controls.
Know what your kid is watching.
Yeah.
And I can say that because I got 2 kids, so I'm not just some no kid having person saying watch what your kids are watching. What the fuck your kids are watching?
And I watch your kids too.
Why don't you talk to them? Hey, what are you watching? Oh, don't watch that shit. Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't need to see no fucking.
That's parents who use TV to raise their kids.
Change.org. Get this nonsense off my Disney because my kids can't learn about X, Y, and Z.
What is with your Batman voice? I don't understand.
It's the angry mob. I don't know. It's just
Batman wants parental consent.
That was.
Oh my God. There you go. You said it, Brent.
So stupid. Listen, I'm not. Listen, it's really funny because my kids know the code. My son knows the code to all of our stuff because he figured it out finally. But even when I watch him, he still goes to the kid side. He still just goes to his profile and he's like, "I'm gonna watch what I'm gonna watch," and that's it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Dad put 1, 2, 3, 4. Access granted. All.
Yeah, well, it used
0, 0, 0.
It was 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, and then he figured it out, and then we changed it to my anniversary. But then me and my wife were like, I hate hitting shift, so we're changing it back to 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. And then finally he's like, I figured it out. I'm like, whatever, man. Just don't buy anything on Amazon, please. That's literally the reason why we did it. Don't buy anything.
Yeah, just don't do anything.
I don't want to see that stupid receipt come up and said I bought X amount of Paw Patrol. I'm like, yo, we have Paramount Plus. Paw Patrol's there.
Every season of Paw Patrol on 4K HD.
Exactly. You just watch all of that shit on there.
Why is the Amazon guy coming here every day?
Anyway, I don't know. I think we should put that stuff on Disney, and if you don't want to watch, you don't watch it. We want to watch it.
I want to watch it. Give me my shit.
We all had those VHSs with the plastic and the edges that you can cut somebody with. I want to watch this violent shit on Disney.
You want to know what's funny? HBO does it. HBO has Sesame Street on HBO Max right next to You guguessed it.
Adult
Game of
Swim
Thrones.
and Game of Thrones and like
Game of Thrones.
everything else.
Euphoria, all
Yeah.
this stuff.
Euphoria, like come on.
Yeah.
We give Disney hell. Anyway, guys, we are going to take a quick break. We are going to play a little bit of Nerds Dance Party, and then when we come back, we are going to go talk about The Boys. So
4 episodes.
4 episodes of The Boys.
Oh
So
my God.
this is
4
that time to do that pee
episodes.
break. Get that water, get some snacks, get your beers, get your whiskey, get your drinks. Follow Brendan.
Yes, come back
follow
in and
us,
join us.
subscribe to a
Yes.
Kickstarter, subscribe to a Patreon, do all that fun stuff, and come right back because we're about to play that Nerds Dance Party in 3, 2, 1. It's a nerds dance party. It's a nerds dance party.
I think you were the only one dancing.
No,
Yeah.
I bob my head to this thing every time. It just gets me.
Well, I was thinking the whole time. I hope everyone that like were wearing earphones or headphones, they took those to the bathroom with them. So they could jam out on the toilet.
It's the best thing. It's just jamming.
Man.
Anyway, we are at hour 2 of Nerds of the Realm because we have a special deluxe episode. So first of all, we want to introduce you guys to Brandon Ingram, who is joining us now. Brandon has created the comic called The Gallowsman. You can go to the links in the description. If you guys go back and also watch the episode on demand, you could see and learn more about Brandon, the creation that he has done with this great comic. 2 successful funded Kickstarters, a third one coming up. So make sure you follow him. So when the third Kickstarter comes out, you could fund this man and get maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, get some great rewards, stickers and everything when it comes down to the Gallowsman. If you love the Silver Age and Golden Age of comics and just want to meet someone who is poking fun at it, definitely follow Brandon because again, he is definitely giving you all that in the Gallowsman. Did I do a good job, Brandon?
Oh yeah, spot on. I'll hire you as my comic. Like whenever at a comic convention, I'll have you there.
Hype
I'll
man.
be quiet.
I'll do it in this world. We have the Gallowsman.
Yeah, anytime I'm like going to shake someone's hand, I'm like, "Nice to meet you," and you just go, "Wow!" Like the hype man.
Listen, it's just Red Bull and Reese's. That's it. That's the secret.
Wow.
And a whole bunch of other 7-Eleven junk food.
There you go.
I used to do Red Bull and Skittles. Oh, it was so bad.
See, the worst thing that Tone and Noel have witnessed was
sugar high.
Into what was it?
Anime New York, NYC.
And then I ended up getting the taquitos with ranch dip and a Red Bull, and that was holding me up for the whole weekend.
Me and Laura were like, I'm gonna get a Gatorade, and I'm gonna walk to this con, and then I'm gonna get food from the food trucks with real food.
I was good. I
think I might have had a Monster because I'm not a morning person, so it might have been like a Gatorade and a Monster or a Monster Rehab.
You see this guy go up, and he's like, "I want that thing that's rotating, that's rotating on the sill." I'm like, "Bro, why?"
How was your stomach at the end?
That's it.
It held up. I was not one of those.
Call him Kevin for a reason.
No, I mean, I give him. Give Seabass credit. You know,
Guys, where are we going right now? Where are we going right now?
He holds it. Listen. Okay, we're done.
Well, talking about toilet talk, you can leave toilet talk into
the boys.
Into the boys.
Into the boys. Got it. Wait, spoiler warning. Spoiler warning.
Wrong one. Here we go. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got lost with the toilet talk. There you go, Tone.
All right, here we go. We are back with The Boys season 3 with extra carnage. We've been waiting for this to come back. So we're gonna jump right off to it. We are talking about the first 4 episodes of The Boys. Everything will be discussed. Spoilers will be dropped, like the urethra explosion after 13 minutes. Who saw that one coming? The Boys said, you know what? You know that theory of Ant-Man going up Thanos' ass and blowing him up? We're going to test it, and we're going to show you how valid that theory was. But instead of going up the ass, we went up the urethra. And there was a physical prop made of the giant phallus that they did. It was just something else after those 12. I remember me and wife were watching, and we're like, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, he's about to go inside that man. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Because it's The Boys. That's episode 1, 12 minutes in. What else happens in The Boys? Oh, Homelander. He's nuts. You know who he is? He's acting really crazy. It's been nuts. It feels like I've seen this type of unhinged before. 2016. I saw that unhingedness before, but like it's fully out, and like I gotta love it. You really gotta love what they're doing with Homelander because they really like to tie Homelander to current events, and I'm really digging about what they're doing. Newman betrays her father, which I thought was great, but you know what? At the end of the day, Giancarlo Esposito will forever be a boss because he still looks at Homelander like he's a fucking baby, or AKA bad product. And then finally, we have Jensen Ackles as Soldier Boy, and by God, he's fucking killing it, and I cannot wait to see what he does in the next episode. So let's get to it, boys.
Hey, we got a drugged up Butcher. You got a druggy Butcher.
Oh, you're right.
No.
yeah.
I don't think he's gonna have an issue. I think Huey's the one we got to worry about.
Ooh,
yeah.
True.
You had that whole scene. Huey walked in.
But George, you're behind. You gotta so much, George.
Come
What's
on,
going
brother.
on?
Come on.
Time.
Get it together.
Gallows, man, you have a really brutal scene in your first issue in Gallows, man. So
First-
how are you feeling about the boys?
I mean, if they want to hire me as a part-time writer or something, I think I could contribute that. So, no, it's really good. Not because like there's some violence similar to Gallowsman and stuff, but I've been kind of hooked on it since season 1, and this season is pretty good. Especially like Homelander's been that big threat the entire time, but this season, like, he's unleashed, like he's unchained, and he's like even scarier than before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I think that's the scary thing, is that we're seeing what would happen if Superman was raised by a corporation, a multi-million-dollar corporation, as a product. And also touching up on it, yes, now we this first episode, no, what would happen? I gotta say, Frenchie has the best line. He's trying to curl up my ass.
That was great. That was
First
great.
of all, I saw it coming the moment he went into the room with the dude. I was like, oh my God, please don't let it be gross. Oh my God, it's gonna be gross. Oh my God, he's gonna blow up. And then it all happened as it was.
Yo,
it was a fucking sneeze that
it was
did it.
exactly
in
what's
slow
coming.
motion. You know what they did too? They buttered you up with getting Kimiko to like sing for like a hot second. You're like, oh man, this is really nice.
Right.
She can sing now. And then all
And
of a
they
sudden
gassed me.
they
Psych.
gassed. They
Yeah.
were just like, nah. But what we are gonna give you is a dick explosion. It's like, no. Why?
But
So
what's funny
crazy.
is like he's in there and he's touching him, and I'm just like,
He's just so
oh man,
caressing.
no, my favorite.
First of all,
Go to the prostate. I'm like, he's not gonna get that far, dude. He's not gonna get that far, my guy.
Yo, as soon as I saw this sneezing, I was like, this is
Well,
gonna go bad.
You better
Yep.
pinch that nose.
Yo,
Better-
oh my lord.
Unbelievable.
Oh my God.
unbelievable. When just when you think they can't go too far,
Nah,
they find
like,
ways to go
listen,
that
I,
far.
I
They said
love
this
the
is-
boys so much because like each season they have just upped the fucking ante with, oh yeah, you thought the first season was bad? We're gonna be worse. Trust me. Each
I was
time.
talking to
you're
someone
gonna love us for
recently
it.
of almost each episode, there's something that they show you where it's like, I've never seen that before. I don't know if I want to see that, but I've never seen that before. That was the case there. The most recent episode, the floating gerbil, just like
Oh yeah.
destroying
Dude.
people, like little like that. Like
Hamster.
every episode, there's something. Yeah, hamster. Yeah,
Yeah,
And man made a big deal about that.
I just remember that. Yeah.
I was like, when I saw the hamster, I'm like, oh, this is not going to end well. This is going to be.
I
a
knew it
very
too.
violent scene.
I was like, oh my God, he's gonna kill them all.
I was like,
I
how?
thought they were gonna.
love
Somebody was
that
gonna get
Frenchie
hurt.
was like, thank you. Like, he's like, you're a homie. Like,
Like, appreciate you.
Can we give it up for Frenchie? Frenchie has been D-man since day
He's gained
one.
some weight in this season.
yeah.
See,
Oh,
what?
that
He
comfy
looks
weight.
older.
Got that comfy
Listen,
weight.
Yeah.
that's he's happy,
He got that
man.
CIA weight. That CIA
he
money
was. They
weight.
were-
I feel
they were-
bad for French though because he's in a position where, especially, and Kamiko's like, dude, I'm only doing this because of you, and I hate it. Like, what are we doing here? And
Yeah.
Butcher's being a total dick, so it's like he's not giving much of a reason to stay. But Frenchie, I think, on a low, loves what he does. He knows his usefulness to a certain
Is he just
extent.
a masochist at this point? Like,
Absolutely, he just
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
want to be. I think he
Well,
struggles with that.
That's a good point because I mean, like the people in relationships he's been with, I forgot that lady's name, but I mean, like she like
We just call it bad
like
Russian
ball
lady.
him, all that
know
sort of
me or
stuff.
something? I think something
Which
like
one,
that.
Little Nina?
Little
Yeah,
No,
Nina.
Little Nina's the
I think
Russian
so, yeah,
lady.
yeah.
That's the Russian lady he used to work for, and now he works for Butcher.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
whole, and then he was with the other girl with the blue eyes.
But he didn't
that
work
he
for
talked-
her.
They
He
worked
didn't
No,
work
he
together.
worked.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
They
Little
worked
Nina, he worked for,
Mhm.
and she was talking about how she used to gag him up and like.
Yeah.
Yo, oh my, I was like, poor Frenchie. Poor fucking Frenchie. The way they just dragged this man from person to person.
But I
Like,
But I do
oh,
like
man.
the shift in Butcher's personality. So I mean that's something to touch on because we did mention Butcher. Because you see that at one point in the show, this season, he was starting to get on the same page as Huey. He's like, you know what, you're right. It's been like, and then it wasn't until Huey told him like, dude, things are getting fucked up. We're working for Soup. Everything's a fucking lie.
Is it a shift or a double down though? Because it felt like he was.
I think it's a double down.
Because I felt like he was like you were saying he was going towards that Yui route, and he wanted to be a good person for I think
the kid
and then
made him
fucking.
He was trying to do right by Ryan and his ex-wife. Like I think he really cares about the kid, and he was trying to let's try to get this done right. And then with Huey saying that, it smacks him back into reality. Like you're fucking right. Like this is what I know how to be an asshole, and that's kind of what he reverted back to.
I think he's trying to distance himself from people because, like, he had that conversation with Eminem, Mother Smoke. He had that conversation with him. Yeah. He had that conversation with him saying, like, I'm trying to leave the team here where you have a team to lead and everything because he trusts him to run everybody. And then I think he's trying to distance himself from Ryan because he knows he's about to do some fucked up shit. And Butcher knows how far
there's a good chance that he's gonna 1v1 on fucking Homelander, and he's not gonna live to see it. So,
and I think that's what people want to see. They're waiting for that.
Yeah,
I don't know because
there's so many other factors going on right now.
Yes,
there's so many other factors.
Dude, Supersonic. I'm so pissed at A-Train. First of all,
Yo,
that Kendall Jenner commercial is so funny.
Fuck A-Train.
Yeah.
Oh my
God. I love how he did the Kylie Jenner Pepsi commercial. That was amazing.
Yeah, it was so funny.
I don't know who I hate worse, him or the Deep. I hate both of them.
No, I
the
feel
Deep
like
the Deep is trying, but then his wife is somehow either fucking Homelander or doing something, and then A-Train is just A-Train's a poser at this point because he's not fighting for anything, and he's just trying to get.
He's just fighting for his position and acting like he's fighting for something,
go ahead, Brandon.
Which is sad.
Go ahead, Brandon. What are your thoughts on
on A-Train? Basically, like it was said, I thought the Kendall Jenner commercial was the funniest thing that came out of one of these recent episodes. Like I died laughing because the second I saw him, because he's trying to do this whole rebranding thing, ultimately for popularity. It's not for an actual cause. But the second I saw him taking that photo shoot or whatever, I was getting flashbacks to that old Pepsi commercial. I was like, wait a second. And then he's like, hold on. I gotta, this is important. I hold on for one second. I was like, are they doing? And then they just straight up do it. I was like, oh my gosh, that's great.
Yeah, I like that they've been consistent. Like, you think A-Train is this guy who's going to turn a new leaf, but he's just been a tool since day one. Like, ever since being a runner for
he
Homelander.
almost got me though, and which is why I'm so mad.
Yeah,
No, you know what was great? When he said, fuck you to Homelander. And Homelander's, what'd you say? Yeah. That man's balls went so far up into himself.
Like, I got it.
You know what was
the
a sick
element of like everyone developing like this season? Because between like Yui, poor fucking Yui, that boy has been through some shit. Like, from day one.
I have a theory, and I want to ask everybody on this. I know, and we'll get back to who you are. I'm sorry.
Go for it.
Because again, with A-Train, we've never seen him tell Homelander. Do you think Homelander is lying that A-Train was a snitch?
No,
I think A-Train was a snitch.
I think A-Train was a snitch.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because what's his name he was talking too much. He thought, black, Hispanic, we got this, and he was like, no.
He don't know A-Train.
No, I'm
like
Samuel L.
everybody
Jackson and Django Unchained.
Don't forget, Homelander. Wow. But we can't forget that Homelander has super hearing, and could have heard the conversation between A-Train.
Could have heard it all. They're all being super irresponsible and assuming what he can and cannot hear. She thinks playing music makes a difference. The other one thinks, I don't know why they all playing themselves. Why are you doing it in that building? Just don't talk in that building, bro. I don't understand. Send a text.
Well, anyway, you had your
learn to speak using Morse code with your eyes. Like,
right.
Blink twice if Homelander is here.
Oh my god! Could you imagine?
Blink twice if you want to kill Homelander.
Just use
There you go.
Kamiko's sign language. Kamiko's sign language. No one knows other than Kamiko and like 3 other people.
Oh, Homelander
Yeah.
would not learn sign language. He is that
Hell
much
no.
of an asshole. He's like, fuck that shit. You
Yeah,
gotta learn
yeah.
sign language. It's
Oh
like,
no!
so, like, you were mentioning Huey.
This
What
is
was
well,
it?
I was
America.
mentioning- so I was saying like everyone's had such development from season 1, and they've grown into who like we kind of saw them be in season 1. So like Huey, while he like wants to do good and like by all means is like the moral compass of the group, he's been like he's gonna reach his breaking point. And I think this season he's reached that point where he's like, fuck it, I gotta take things into my own hand. I have to be Butcher. And then Butcher's just like, no, I never wanted you to be me. Like this is not supposed to be me. We see Butcher double down on being actually Butcher. We see Homelander double down on being who he is. And everyone's doing it in such a way that's so like,
I think some
when
people
the
are
dust
growing,
settles,
though.
it's good. No, absolutely.
Like Maeve.
Absolutely. Love Maeve. Love like a lot of the characters have actually been growing and doing amazing. But I think when the dust settles on like the big confrontation that we know we're gonna get, holy shit. Like you can hear a fucking mouse fart in that room. I guarantee it.
Can we talk predictions yet, or we're not there yet?
Y'all can.
Well, I don't even know. So wait.
I mean, I think Soldier Boy.
You've read it.
Yeah.
No, you haven't read it, right?
No, I haven't read this. I think Soldier Boy, with
Really
him
did.
hitting Kamiko, I think he is the weapon that takes away Compound V.
Interesting.
That's the hint. That's what everyone's been
That's what
talking
it
about.
seems like.
Holy
Because she wasn't
shit.
healing, and her powers being able to heal outside of her strength and being Wolverine,
Yeah.
but she wasn't
Holy
healing
shit, I
anymore.
didn't even fucking see
So-
that.
so when they catch him, if they catch him, now is a matter of he can contend with. This is how they can take out Homelander if Homelander doesn't get him first.
But all right. So now the question is, he can take out Homelander, but the question is, does he want to take out Homelander?
He's been trapped in the U.S. in Russia for the past 10 years? I don't even know how long.
But like,
No,
and
he
no
was-
one's-
he's been trapped in Russia since Vietnam.
right.
Right.
Yeah.
So even longer than that. Right. And then no one's come to look for him. He could be upset. He's been experimented on, pissed off, and he's probably pissed that.
But what's the beef with Homelander? Like, how do you
There's
direct
no
that
beef.
kind of
There's
bullet?
no beef. He
to-
was the
to
he was the
Homelander?
Homelander before Homelander.
Yeah.
He was a different version because
true.
because Homelander sees himself above humanity. Like not like Stormfront, who's like racist and all that. Like he was like I saw it on Reddit. I thought it was really great that Homelander is speciest. He just thinks all humans are below him.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And what we got, the little bits that we got from Soldier Boy, is that he's about the show and everything, and he's kind of living it up and has that ego, but it doesn't seem like he's treating people like objects, more so like they're collateral damage or whatever. Could be
Right.
wrong, because we still need to get flashbacks. We need to see. We don't know the truth about what
Black
happened.
Noir. Oh my god, that
in
broke my heart.
In that we don't know like what happened between Soldier Boy and Mother's Milk's family. I think we read it. Like we don't really know this. I'm sure they'll show the flashback or something. So there's definitely a difference. But Soldier Boy was the top hero at the time, and then I'm sure Homeland. I think they created Homelander.
This is gonna be interesting. I mean, but let's talk about as we mentioned, Stormfront and Homelander. Again, Homelander getting his ego stroked.
Bro.
I just find it funny she's doing it, and then she's talking all that like Third Reich stuff. And he's like, "All right, you gotta stop. You gotta."
Come on,
It's like you're not doing that shit. Like stop it, bitch.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like I want that shit.
She definitely was the one-armed bandit.
Bro.
I could keep going. This is a Saturday night special. I mean, again, the kids are in bed. Yeah, it's just interesting that when she learned that he's not going to, did she really cut her own tongue out? Was it something?
Bit her tongue.
Bit
Yeah.
her tongue. I think
And die and choke and suffocate on her own blood.
Yeah. I think it was just to get rid of the character.
Yeah.
She's only there for one season.
I think it was like a get herself out of this misery that she's in because she wants to be with him, but he like wants her, but like as an object, like as like just.
She doesn't want to be with him. She was intended to use him for her own purpose.
True. Yeah.
You want to know what's funny though? If and I want to get everyone's thoughts on this, you've noticed that in every season there's been something that Homelander would go to, or someone Homelander would go to kind of stroke his ego. That's what we'll call it.
He's a big baby. He wants to be loved. That's
he
that's
wants
the
affirmation
issue with his cycle. He wants.
That's why you see him go back to I forgot the guy's name, Gus Fring from Breaking Bad.
Stan Edgar.
You see him go back to Stan Edgar because he wants that affirmation. Stan even addresses that. He's like, "Why are you here? Like, you're just wanting affirmation, clearly." Like Stan, I love Stan as a semi-villain because he is super intimidating. Like, he's way more intimidating than who was the lady in season 1?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know you're talking about.
Sitwell.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
She was not intimidating at all.
Yeah. Ultimately, she was just like kind of scared of Homelander and just like trying to push him off as much as she could. Yeah. She was the babysitter. Whereas Stan, he's like, he's not phased at all. Like Homelander even says, like he comes in, he's like, your world is crumbling apart, and your blood pressure is still 60. Like, what is going on?
I think that was a really great scene with the two actors that you got in episode 4. And just again, I found it as if, and I'm going to give this comparison, that if Lex Luthor was in charge of a company that ran Superman and Lex Luthor had the hand over him, and it was just that Stan has his knee on Homelander's neck.
Like an evil Superman, but yeah.
Yeah, it is like Stan just has his knee on Homelander's neck, and I love the dynamic. And Carlos Esposito, he plays every character role that he dives into. He plays a villain you love to hate. He plays a character you love to love. He goes full in, and Stan is not a character you want to hate. It's like you love when Stan is on it, because Stan is not a villain nor is a hero. He's a guy who's just running numbers. And also kudos for the actor that played young Stan to have to
carry that. Those are big shoes to fucking fill.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And it felt exactly like that. You did a great job.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I
was like, who the fuck they clones to make young Esposito?
How do we feel about not only because we knew Vicky was bad, like we knew she was bad business, like to begin with, but how do we feel about that she's Stan's adopted daughter, and it's been basically this weapon that he's been using for like a minute now?
I'm not surprised.
It's fitting for Stan's character because either he or she says in one of those conversations in episode 4, he says it to Homelander about her. He's like, well, what she does get from her dad is she plays all sides.
Right.
And like that's very much what Stan does. Like he's playing all sides. Like he has a daughter, ultimately as like part of his ploy. Maybe
he wants someone in government. He wants someone,
exactly.
I mean, he's since season 1. That was when he killed the cop, right? The FBI agent, CIA, whatever she was, the Spanish chick.
Season 2. Season 2.
It was season 2.
Yeah.
Popped her head off, and then the scene in the courtroom where he took care of several people in one shot. Anybody who was persecuting Vought. Period.
Yeah.
And he way he masterminded that was freaking genius.
I feel her character is like, again, it's a character in a moral gray, because I feel like just what we saw, what she did in turning on Stan, it look a lot of it was for her daughter, because when you learn about the character, you learn about the orphanage, you learn about the superhero, the superpowered orphanage of kids who may have either killed their parents or their parents didn't want them, and it's like it's like a dysfunctional house of Charles Xavier pretty much, and that's great that.
It's not even close to their.
I know you read the book.
Their X-Men parody is rough.
Yeah,
with the G-Men, it is rough.
Did you guys see the Diabolical, the animated series of it?
It was
and
so
there's
good.
one of these kids in like a group home that their parents gave them back because they were not happy with the type of powers that developed, and they went back and killed them all.
Yo, that episode
Dang.
was fucking bonkers.
Ridiculous.
That whole like, if you guys have not watched Diabolical, please go
Go
do
on,
yourself a
sit there.
favor and watch it. It is amazing.
Except for the shit episode. Aquafina's episode. That was probably the worst one.
Yeah.
I know you guys are now know.
Yeah,
Aquafina wrote and voiced one of the animated episodes that she takes Compound V and her shit is what is her power, and
Yeah.
she controls shit.
That's shitty.
No, it's just
It's literally a dookie that she becomes friends with. Her own dookie.
See,
makes all
now
pretty
I'm
and
just
stuff.
Now you're curious.
I'm just
Now you're
imagining
curious. Ooh,
I'm
ooh.
imagining like all the weird powered characters, like the guy with the tenant private area. That guy, you have Poop Girl over here. They're gonna form their own team or something like that. Like the
Listen. I get where you're going with that,
characters.
because it's like, if you think about it, like, not everyone's going to have a superpower that they're going to want. There's going to be some stupid shit. Oh man, that's the funny thing. Like, yeah, it's like, because you've seen it in X-Men, like there are characters that was like, they have top 10 lists of most unwanted powers in the X-Men universe. I think one of the
Even
worst
too,
powers,
the guy who's like changing the channel by blinking. That's a great power, right?
Never heard of him.
no, the worst power I read that was in the X-Men was the character that was a member of the X-Men, but no one remembers that he is an X-Men. No one remembers that he exists.
Yeah.
And he is just a
So
secret character.
whenever you look away from him, you forget who he is. And you forget ever meeting him. Like, you forget all. So, like, literally, he's been a member for months or years at that point, and like, I forgot his name. He has a name. And I think while it is like a very unfortunate like power, it is a fucking great story. Because, like, come on, like, you spend years in the X Mansion going, hey, yeah, I was with you on this mission. I did X, Y, and Z, and they're like, who the fuck are you?
Forget me not. That's what he's called.
Forget me not. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Great character. If you guys haven't looked into him.
But going back to it, so we got Butcher, we got the boys. We see Mother's Milk reuniting with his family. We see that it's not the kind of reunion that we thought he was gonna have, where he gets back together with his wife, his child. She's with someone else who is a Homelander simp. We'll call him that because you see him there.
Oh my God.
He is exactly.
I think it's a Vought simp. Like,
he's a superhero simp, and he is the demographic that Homelander is going for, which is exactly what we thought they were going to do. And it just, you see the eye, you see his eyes open, and he's like, oh,
the speech. He's like, oh yeah, insane.
Oh, I'm gonna go get my tiki torch. Here we go.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
I gotta get that on the laugh for just the both of you just saying that, because this is coming in. But it's true.
Like, it's not. It's like I can't see. You cannot see the parallels to what we saw in the real world. Like, they literally, like, Eric Kripke took it. Like, even with Vic, she's, you know, a character of AOC, because that character Vic in the comics was a character of George Washington Bush. George, what the fuck is wrong with me? Jesus Christ. long night. GW. But yeah, like, so they're doing these characters and they're taking these influences from common politics we have now, and they're applying it here. And, like, it's not a coincidence. You're not just digging in there and making something that it's not. It's literally what they're doing. But doing it with soups. And I think, you know, Homelander is just killing it. Like, that speech he gave, like, you were waiting for him to be unhinged. And the speech he gave, and even the scene where, like, well, what happens if I release the tape of you killing all those people on the plane? He's like, well, then I'm going to kill everybody.
Yeah.
It's like,
then I'll just
fear,
run this shit.
He's like, fear is just as good as love.
Listen, I love that people like, oh, Superman would come in there and take him out. I'm like, listen, if it's Injustice Superman, yes, Homelander would do anything to keep.
But Injustice Superman at least had a reason.
Yeah, but Homelander would do anything to keep his rating high, but also to him being unhinged. I feel like he is just the only person that I would say is hero or like character that can come close to even being more dastardly than Homelander is Sentry, Marvel Sentry. And I'm not saying that because everybody, oh, you're a Marvel Sentry. Like, no, Sentry it's because of the Void. The Void is just super evil when he tore Ares. But Homelander, he's really well written. The actor that plays him is killing it. And it's just a season of seeing him.
I think him, and because they did an episode of Death Battle with him and Omni-Man. Why they put him and Omni-Man together? Because we knew that was gonna be an Omni-Man like sweep. But I think like they're doing a really good job of like their like fucking villains, of hero villains, because like he gives me like holy shit Omni-Man vibes off the rip.
Yes.
And I think he's actually worse than Omni-Man psychologically. Psychologically, I think he's more unhinged, and he's far worse than him.
And the thing that's Omni-Man will win that fight, and I will say this, and even when you just said that, Omni-Man is a trained soldier. Homelander is also not a trained soldier.
Of years
Child.
old.
It's also Vulturemites also get stronger as they get older. It's like amazing. I love that fucking comic so fucking.
It's so good.
That whole story is so good, and like the whole Omni, like I can't wait for everyone to experience.
When is Invincible season 2 coming out?
I can't wait for y'all to experience.
Wait till you see what happens.
Because Omni-Man's story later this year, no?
Omni-Man's story is so fucking good because you hate him,
but it's good.
This dude is awesome.
Yes,
I love that we got J.K. Rowling's.
Like,
not J.K. Rowling's.
Like you hate him because of what he did.
J.K. Simmons.
But then when you get to the end of that whole series and what happens between him and Mark and that whole story and why he did what he did and what the Vulturemites are and their whole it's fucking amazing. I love it. I love it.
Yep. Agreed.
So with the boys, we got 4 episodes in. We got the new episode coming out on Fridays. Obviously, next week we won't be covering the boys. We'll be talking about Obi-Wan and Stranger Things, and then the following week catch up on the boys and Miss Marvel. Are you guys excited? And I want to get everyone to weigh in this. And I know Tone's been waiting for it. That we're getting Herogasm.
Okay, you make me sound like a pervert. I wasn't waiting for it.
What?
I wasn't waiting for it.
I'll let you take it, Tone.
I missed the word. What did he just say?
It's Herogasm.
Herogasm?
Oh my god, we're actually getting the episode called
Episode 6 is titled Herogasm.
God. No, I didn't think they were really going to do it.
Yes, they said so when they signed up, when we got season 3, they said Kripke was like, we're adapting Herogasm in season 3. So I don't know how they're going to do it.
You showed us what? Oh my god!
Yes, I showed you the panels. Yes, it's insane.
Oh my god!
I have no idea what you guys are referring to, but I'm gonna pretend to sign yes and say
I'm thinking of the Doom Patrol Flex Mentallo and him causing all the characters to orgasm. That's what I'm doing right now.
No, so okay, so in the comics, the way they do it, like it's a spoiler, but it's like Herogasm was a mini series in the boys that kind of arced. That bridge 2 things together because it happens on an island. So in the comics, they create, because Vought controls everything, they create this scenario, this world-ending Avengers level event where all the superhero teams need to come together to fly into space and save the Earth. That is the spin. When in reality, they go to some secret island and it is non-stop carnal action. Superheroes and superheroes bringing in prostitutes and putting V in them so they don't get killed. And it's just like ridiculousness. Just, it's insane. And like the panel is showing you this whole to-do. So I don't know how they're going to do it here. I don't think they're going to do the Avengers level event. I think it's going to be more about, I wouldn't be surprised if Herogasm is like Homelander's birthday bash. Because of like a remake of that, or like him taking over and doing something and how they spin it. But it's essentially that a bunch of soups fucking each other. It's insane.
So it's an orgy.
Yeah.
Temptation. It's Temptation Island with Compound V.
When Jones the boys have some interesting panels, and some stuff has made it to the show.
So let's go back. When we first were like, all right, we're gonna watch The Boys, Tone immediately was like, bet, I love this show. I'm reading the book, got the book, sat me and Seabass down and showed us shot for shot, like this was this scene, this was this scene, this was this. Skip ahead a couple days, couple more podcasts later, he goes, bro, sit. Like he gives me the big brother sit down, like sit down. And I was like, all right. And I'm like, nah. And it was Hero Gasm, and it was like
it's nuts.
So like, I'm just wondering, are they still gonna do the Soldier Boy?
I don't think they're doing that. I don't think they're doing that because Soldier Boy in The Boys at that time when he was part of Payback was like not Jensen Ankles.
Right.
Like he was like a I guess simp is the colloquial term we can all use since we're not calling men bitches anymore. So simp, right? Right. So simp.
Hold on. A simp is not a bitch though. I don't know what y'all talking about.
I don't know, man. He was a simp for Homelander. I don't know.
Okay, so he's Homelander's bitch. Okay.
I don't know anymore. I really don't. All right. So he was a coward. He there's a whole panel of him pissing himself.
So he was the Deep.
Essentially, he was kind of the
Val,
Deep.
Can I say I love you as the newest addition to the team? Good Lord.
So he's essentially sleeping with Homelander in hopes to become one of the 7. That's what Soldier Boy's doing.
They're doing that with the Deep. I feel like they're gonna do it with the Deep.
Well, Deep. No. Well, I've heard.
No, I don't think Homelander would touch the fucking Deep.
I heard
fuck his wife.
So that's it. That's what people were saying.
Yeah, right in front of her too.
Is that he's gonna be? Because remember how in season 2 they kept talking about
he's gonna cuck him.
He's gonna cuck him.
Oh no!
Yep.
That's what everyone on Reddit is saying, that he's going to cuck the Deep.
Yep, definitely. Because I don't think he would get. He finds the Deep disgusting. Yeah. Homelander's a dick, bro. He's a total asshole. He's a guy I hate, but I love.
His friend alive.
Yeah, but how do you think he knew about his friend though?
His wife, of course, the wife.
Yeah,
of course.
I gotta ask this: with Hero Gasm, which is more insane, that or the end of Sausage Party?
So Sausage Party was just like so unnecessary. It was so unnecessary. Like I remember I watched that with me and my wife were watching it because I remember watching the trailer, like this looks hilarious, and then you watch the movie like this movie's stupid, and we stopped watching it.
I mean the very end.
Oh yeah. I knew about the orgy, but I did not tell her, and we stopped watching it before then because I wasn't gonna do it.
I was one of those unlucky.
But then I watched the orgy on a separate day because I just was like, well, it's one of those things you got to watch it. And you watch it, and you got the falafel tossing the salad of the freaking naan. And I'm like, what is going on here?
I had to witness that, and I saw it with my brother. And we just looked at each other, and we're like, but like laughing while doing it. We're like,
we were
it's the most uncomfortable laugh you'll ever.
It was in a movie theater. It was New Rock City, New Rochelle. A mutual friend, which Val, you know who he is. He worked at Cablevision. We went with his wife, and I went with my wife to go see Sausage Party because he wanted to go see Sausage Party. So we saw it, and then the orgy scene happened. So you can imagine a whole movie theater of a bunch of people just sitting there looking at each other like, is this really happening right now? It's quiet. Just like after it ended, it was just everybody just sat there in shock. It was kind of silent for a minute. Like, did we just witness this together? I was like,
I will say though, if I was like Seth Rogen or the writers or anything, and I could I know what's about to happen, and I'm watching the audience, I would have biggest laugh.
Seth Rogen is a producer of The Boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm sure there may be some influence there.
Oh
I think,
man,
I think
made that falafel.
I think they're gonna toe the line with Hero Gasm. I mean, it's one of those things where like if they didn't talk about it, right? So like, I remember watching. It's not off topic, but I remember when Game of Thrones season 1 happened. They did Comic-Con, and one of the questions to the guys was, hey, what's the one thing you made this show? What's the one thing you want to make? And they were like, Red Wedding. They didn't say Red Wedding. They said RW, but it was Red Wedding. And once
definitely
you know what
one of the best episodes.
like you watch it and they went full gas to the ground, pedal to the metal. So they keep talking about the fact that they're doing Hero Gasm in season 3. They titled an episode Hero Gasm. They can't not go nuts with it now. Like I'm
gonna now pull up this comic book and I'm gonna have to read this
It
because
already
I need to
has the
know.
mature rating. It already has like all that. Like we've
Oh,
seen
yeah,
a guy's
they've done
dick
it
get
past that
exploded. Like
shit.
it's season,
Yeah, yeah.
there's
season,
nothing else
it's
that
season
you can.
3. It's one of those things where like it's season 3. You already signed on for season 4.
Mhm.
Everyone loves the show.
Yeah.
You know, so they're gonna go for it. Which is
So
insane.
projection wise, where are we in the comics versus where we are in the show?
So
Is
Herogasm
the
is like in the
comics
middle.
currently running?
No, it finished.
It's
It finished.
finished,
You can
okay.
watch. You can get the whole series. You can get half of it on
Send
Comixology
me
Plus,
that link.
and
Oh,
then you
okay,
buy the
okay,
rest.
cool. Yeah,
And then you just buy the rest. So it's about halfway.
I don't buy 'em.
Herogasm is about halfway through the series. There's a lot of stuff like they cut out. Like there's a whole book, and when they go to Russia, there's a book about the G-Men. There's a whole thing. They're really just picking and choosing at this point. It's you don't. They are literally two separate entities. Like the show, some people feel like the show is better than the comic, especially when the comic came out and the tone it was going for. But they are just picking and choosing what they like about the comic and bringing it in. They're gender flipping or race flipping some of these characters and making it work in a more modern world. So it's really not a 1-to-1. It hasn't been a 1-to-1 for pretty much since Huey's girlfriend died. Like that's, like it's very much 1-to-1, right? But
Okay. The very first episode.
yeah, but they really just it's an influence. So it's very much separate. So like if you get to the end, who Black Noir is in the comic is not going to be who Black Noir is in the show. It's just it's not. If what we see is what we're seeing, it's not going to be that. And I think that twist was crazy in the comic book, but I don't think that twist is going to work for the show, especially the trajectory of the show.
There's another twist coming with Black Noir.
Well, do you know the Black Noir twist from the comic?
Black Noir twist. Yeah.
Oh, you did tell us.
I told you the Black Noir twist.
Yeah.
I'll tell you if you don't care. It's comic spoiler. It's comic book's been out for a while, so I'll tell you if you want me to tell
Okay,
you.
I want to know.
Wait, Brandon, you want to tell nobody?
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Don't tell nobody. What? So
the broadcast live.
So the twist is Black Noir is a clone of Homelander. And he's the one who slept with Becca and killed her or raped her. He's the one who raped Becca. Black Noir raped Becca. And Homelander starts to go psychotic because he's like thinking about he gets these pictures of things he did, but it wasn't him who did it. It was Black Noir. And it ends up that's kind of what the big twist for Black Noir. He was just
They're not gonna do that.
They're not gonna do that. He was a brain dead version clone of Homelander who was like a weapon. That's why he never died.
Yeah, because at this point, Black Noir is
that,
older than Homelander.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's actually black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's saying again? It's a sad story that they aired for the character, which again I think it's very interesting where they took that character. And if we're going to see him unmask at all this season, with the fact that we've seen him already without his mask, but he was a member of Payback.
And he's actually because I was watching the after show episodes of, and I guess I went back into season 2 after show, and it was a different actor in Noir suit than who they have and they showed this season in Payback. And now we kind of see there's if you got to see Diabolical, there's an episode in Diabolical where when Homelander is introduced
I know
he's
exactly
taken
where you're
on
from.
and when he's introduced, they have him join with Black Noir, and Noir's kind of overshadowing him. He's like, don't let him take over the spotlight, Stillwell. And then he's like, no, I'm on your side. He's kind of manipulating behind the scenes kind of thing. And it was very interesting to see Black Noir in that light. He's an underused character that they can do a lot with.
For sure.
I feel like we may get a little bit more of Black Noir because he's been very quiet this season, except for that whole thing we saw with Payback.
I mean,
The
technically,
character-
so
Yeah, and then technically, yeah, but it's like we haven't seen much of the character. We get very little of him.
Unless he didn't survive that happening and he actually is the clone and they just made him Black Noir.
I don't know. I don't think the clone stories, and I think that's definitely not something they're gonna go with. I think it was fun. It was a fun reveal in the comic because I wasn't expecting it. I just don't think for the way the show was going, and I don't know if it's gonna ultimately lead to what the comic book got to.
Yeah.
You know, essentially with Vought getting to the White House, and I know they're trying to get there. We're trying to get there. They're backing, you know, they're backing Bobby and all that. But like, I don't know what we're gonna do there.
Did Noir survive the peanut thing that Maeve did? Have we seen him since then?
Yeah, we saw him.
Other than the flashback.
Yeah, we saw him at the meeting, at the last meeting.
Yeah,
that
he's at the meeting.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
if he survived, and if it's him, anyway.
Yeah. But the show has been good. I mean, I can't wait for the next episode this Friday.
Before we break though, because I know we're almost at time. What is everyone's thoughts on the whole taking Compound V?
Brandon, let's see what you.
I thought it was funny how, I mean, they did it on purpose. Huey comes in, like, what are you doing? He's like, you don't want any part of this, Huey. And he's like, come on, let me have some. He's like, no, you don't want any part of this. This is very much like
drugs.
Like, yeah, exactly. I thought
get some heroin. Fun. I want some.
Yeah, exactly. But it's an interesting thing to add. One as like, another weapon in their belt, basically, as well as conflict with them, because it's clearly changing what's his face's personality.
Right. Kimbo.
Changing.
You missed my whole changing. Sorry. I was just commenting. No, Kimbo.
But it's changing both Huey and Butcher's personality. So there's a lot that's going on with that. So there's good and bad with it. I'm liking it. I'm liking seeing where it's going.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that a lot of like this new batch is not so much that it gives you it doesn't. I don't know if it gives you temp V. I think it gives you less of the reactions that you got from the original batch. Like they cleaned up the batch, but it's still V. It's still gonna give you a lingering kind of thing that'll come up later. At least that's what I'm thinking.
Or an addiction.
So Stan found his Walter White for Compound V, basically.
Yeah, he got the product fixed. Yeah.
There we go. He took Breaking Bad, right? There we go.
I mean, Stan can also take Temp V and just find a way to kill.
I don't think Stan will take it. Stan is not going to take it. He'll manipulate someone to take it.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, because Stan is like, I'm not going to poison my body with that shit. I'll just get someone else to do it. And then I died laughing when Huey's talking to Butcher, and then Butcher just like all up in his face. I'm like, oh.
Gross. That was so gross. I'm not the biggest fan of vomit, but that was gross.
Yeah, no, I'm happy they finally did it, because essentially in the comic they're all on V.
Boys?
Yeah, they have to fight. To fight the soups, they have to be. So it's like from the jump, they're on V. And even in the way Huey kills that guy in the episode, he kills his first soup. I believe he kills his first soup that way as well, by punching through him. But yeah, no, they're all on V. It's how they fight the soups and how they kill them.
And it's temp V, or like.
Yeah, it's so the way they do it in the comics is, and I don't know if they touched on here, but to have it have permanent powers, you need to have it as a child, and it gets ingrained in you. If an adult who never had V takes it, it's temporary. So you take it like a steroid.
Got it.
So that's what. And then when A Train was taking it consistently because he stopped. He wasn't as fast because he wasn't training.
He couldn't get it up there.
Yeah.
That dumb fuck.
So that's what was happening.
Yeah, a little bit. Well,
he's doing it because he wants to feel like a man, because he can't open jaws.
Right, school shooter energy.
Oh my god.
Fucking Kimbo. Love Kimbo.
That's school dick energy.
Some of those tonight. Anyway.
Sorry.
LDE, right?
Oh my god.
Truck with the truck nuts.
I'm very excited for whatever is left of this season, and to think we're only halfway through like the entire book series, like the comic one. Holy
There's
shit!
a lot to come down.
I am loving so where I stand with the boys, I'm loving it for the fact that this is like, because again, we know Marvel's been dominating the superhero scene. We know DC's trying because musical. I love the fact that these are alternate sources that we're seeing of characters, because we have the boys, we have Umbrella Academy coming out. Mercury Rising tried, but I'm sorry, the boys kicked its ass, because Mercury Rising was trying to be its own version of a thing, but it just couldn't.
I didn't even bother to watch it.
It's don't. But as far as it goes, I'm loving the boys, because it's definitely taking the superhero tropes that we all have come known to love, and it's definitely flipping it on its ass and asking a lot of those, like, using. The boys is doing stuff that comics also use, like definitely still and used to do, where they use political commentary in there as well, and you're seeing a lot of that in there, especially with, like, you know, when A-Train's brother was telling him, like, use your platform, talk about like this here, we just did the whole curb stomp thing. We're seeing it with Homelander, we've seen it with the Third Reich and all that, and it's just, again, and I was talking with Rick Burlow, shout out to Rick, earlier, it's like they're really capturing a happy medium between using the source material and telling their own story. And they're making fans happy. It gives you very little room to complain about anything about the series. And if you're complaining, I'm like, I don't know what you're complaining about. I mean, everybody's entitled to their opinion, but you're entitled to your opinion. There you go. But other than that, it's like it's been doing very good.
It's the same thing that I can complain about with Miss Marvel. They can complain. It's just, does it make it any worse? No, it makes it good.
Just go watch. I told people who complain, just go watch Joker 2, the musical.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
we did.
We sure
we
did.
gotta give credit to Brandon. He touched up on that.
Yes.
Yeah, Kimbo, you came in late, brother.
Go watch it on demand. Learn about Brandon's comic, brother.
Yes.
Learn about it in the beginning. Then we talk about Miss Marvel, and then we talk about the boys. And Brandon touched up on that on the Kylie Jenner thing. But it's been a great episode, guys. Brandon, we want to thank you for coming on.
One of them.
It don't matter.
We don't care.
It don't matter.
I mean, I care.
It don't matter.
Okay, whatever.
Val, no, you don't. No, you don't.
I don't give two shits.
I was gonna say, like, come on.
I don't give two shits about those bitches. But anyway.
But guys, just to let you know, so next week we're going to be covering the next 2 episodes of Obi-Wan.
You want to know what you would care? If they played a Sony Marvel superhero.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
So this has been an ongoing thing.
I probably would be upset about that.
Listen. I'm upset about Sony for different things, because they want to bring like what was it, Spider-Man back to theaters with deleted scenes. I'm like, why? Just release the fucking DVD. Just leave it alone. Fucking Tony.
They did release the DVD.
They did release the scene. Now they're like, oh, we're gonna bring it back to theaters with deleted scenes. I'm like,
all right, we gotta wrap.
Anyway, here's some plugs. So this way, Hype Man Energy. So guys, who you're watching today right now, our guest today was Brandon. Brandon did a great comic that again has 2 successful Kickstarters. The 3rd Kickstarter is on its way. Please check out the Hangman Gallows, the Gallowsman. Please check it out. The links is in the description. Brandon did an awesome job with this comic. We were talking about the boys. We were talking about Miss Marvel. And again, go back in the beginning of the episode to learn more about the Gallowman and learn more about Brandon. Again, awesome career, Brandon. We want to thank you for coming on and sharing the Gallows with us. Anytime, you're more than welcome. Always come back. Also, too, next week, we are talking about Obi-Wan. And we are talking about Stranger Things. 2 episodes of Obi-Wan. And then we're getting Stranger Things. Who will be joining us next week is the returning of the one, the only Mighty Pong, whose show we're going to invade, where Vmac will put together Optimus Prime, the Lego edition, and also to Maria Calcaterra will be on with us with that show.
Lego needs to pay me.
Oh yeah, they do. There you go. Sponsorship. Make sure you're following the Patreon for Sebastian Bonet for Bonet Studios, because again, new stuff is dropping every Tuesday. Make sure you're following Law's Twitch, and make sure you're checking out the Medusa's Cascade. So there we go. Did I do a good job tonight, guys?
Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah.
All right.
You sounded like Homelander looking for gratification, guys.
Oh,
come on now.
no.
I'm gonna give my best Homelander impression. Come on, guys.
You did amazing. You did amazing. Good job.
The one on bandit stuff.
Good job, buddy. Good job.
Amazing.
Choke my ego.
Kimbo got you.
There we go.
There you go.
Anyway, yeah.
There's your
And
validation.
shout out to Kimbo. Make sure you guys are following Kimbo. Kimbo
Yes.
is also doing some awesome art, so make sure you're following Kimbo. Again, Kimbo, thank you for joining us. But again, thank you for coming on, Brandon. And so again, we look forward to seeing you guys every Tuesday. This has been your boy Sebastian.
Your boy Law
Anybody, Tone from across the hall.
with
Vmac. I messed up. I wasn't
Still
paying
working
attention.
on it.
Damn
Still
it! I'm
working
still
on it.
working on it.
Work-
I'm
work
still
shopping
working on
it.
it.
Work
Damn it!
shopping
Beautiful
I don't
people.
have. I need a catchphrase.
It's coming.
I'm the
Don't worry.
last one.
We'll workshop it.
It will
We'll
come, it will
workshop
come
Yeah,
naturally. Don't worry.
It's Morbin time. There you go.
What?
No.
They
All right.
will
All right,
crucify
for
me.
her. All right,
They
Brandon,
will
you're coming back. No
crucify
more.
me.
Okay, bye.
That's it. Bye.
Two.